right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the TimingResearch.com crowd forecast news for July 21st, 2025. We are recording this at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and this is episode number 486. So, just a reminder, in case you haven't heard about this yet, we have a big educational event for you this week. So, it'll be starting tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Uh, the topic for this is 30 favorite indicators. Join us to learn what the pros actually use in their trading. So this will be live on TimingResearch.com, uh, July 22nd, that's tomorrow, and July 23rd and 24th. We'll have 30 different presentations over 3 days, all about professional traders' favorite indicators to use in their trading. So, and you can just come straight to TimingResearch.com, and there will be a link to join the room while we're live each day from 10 a.m. Eastern Time until 8 p.m. Eastern Time, all 3 days. So
That's a long day.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. It's long days, but a lot of great education. So, and
Yes.
everyone on today's panel will be doing a presentation on that event. So today I have arranged for Dean Jenkins and Sunny Harris to join us for today's panel, and the option professor is back to moderate. So I'm going to turn it over to him.
Okay. Thanks, David. And thanks, everybody, for being here, Sonny and Dean. We got a lot to talk about because this is earnings season, and it's really going to start in earnest because we've got the Magnificent Seven coming out. And it'll be very interesting to see what their tech spend is going to be. Because obviously that's been a big motivator for this market, how much money's been plowed into it. Anyway, we're going to get opinions from everybody. Let's start out with the current idea where we obviously are at all-time highs on the stock market. And what does Sonny Harris think about that?
Well, let's see. Where's my charts?
Oh, yeah, let's put yours up
I'll
there.
share my charts
Yeah, sure.
if I can find the share button.
Should be able to now.
Give me a second. There we go. All right, so this is a chart of the Dow, the way I look at it. And of course, my favorite indicator is my Sunny Bands indicator, which you see on this chart. It's the green and blue lines that go around the moving average in the center, which is my dynamic moving average. It calculates its own inputs. You don't have to put an input in it. You can put seed values in if you want, but after a few bars, it calculates everything by itself dynamically. So it avoids most whipsaw. That's the reason I invented it in the first place, is because I got tired of getting killed in the whipsaw.
Mm-hmm.
So this is my favorite indicator, and this is ES. No, that's soybeans. At ES.
ES would be a little bit north looking, right?
Yeah, this is definitely north looking.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see that we're at an all-time high and we're at 63.47.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're going higher. I think we're just going to continue on up for a while.
Mm-hmm.
We're above the gold and purple lines. We're above the upper inner band. We're right at the upper outer band. So it's got some strength going to it.
The red lines underneath, the bars underneath, they seem to be sliding to the downside. Any significance to that slope?
They are, yes. And these measure the difference between the gold line and the purple line. So we can tell if they're getting closer together or farther apart. And you can see they're getting closer and closer and closer together. And typically, what will happen is this will drop below the zero line and will go down. But I've seen a lot of cases recently on stocks that go down to this level and then turn around and come back up.
Yeah.
So I can't predict with that one today.
Yeah. It could be just going back down towards a connection and then bouncing out of that as a support zone, huh?
Sure could.
Yeah. It certainly is a clean looking trend, that's for sure. You'd have to admit, ever since wherever it started there, May. I know, yeah, May, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's a nice clean chart as far as trend is concerned. That's nice.
Sure is.
So basically, you think obviously at this point in time, the most likely outcome is that we're going to continue higher, and if we did revert to the mean, which would be your gold and purple lines, what number do you got for those two guys?
Oh, we're looking at, if it reverts to the DMA, we're looking at 62.88.
Pretty minor.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
not much.
anything, if you do get a drop, it would look like it'd be shallow, and don't be surprised if there's more upside. Huh?
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, Dean, what do you got going as far as where we are, and what do you think is going on here? Because we're coming into some pretty big information with the big, Magnificent Seven earnings.
Yeah, we are. So I'll go ahead and share. I'm going to talk about a stock, man. I gotta share a chart. So let me see here.
There you go. You have it now.
All right. All right. So I'm sharing with Thinkorswim. And just so anybody wondering, what are the indicators? This white line is the 200-day SMA, this lighter one, 50-day. This is a simple version of the Ichimoku cloud. This is a price oscillator at the bottom. And it was interesting that your sub indicator, Sunny, different math, but it looks similar in shape and magnitude to,
Yeah, well, histograms are histograms. They all kind of look alike.
yeah. And they do, Jim was asking about it, you were responding, right? And one thing I take note of is in an uptrend like this, right? And the price oscillator gives you kind of the magnitude of kind of the velocity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what we do see is even though the trend continued, right, we lost momentum, right? And that's typically called bearish divergence, right? That the velocity isn't really making new highs. So that doesn't mean the trend is over. It just means it's losing some of its steam. And Jim, you asked, the opening question, what do I see? Um, hey, we're at all-time highs,
Don't fight
right?
the tape, right?
And
That's right.
and in my live session with my group this morning, I made the comment, right? Even back, certainly back in April after the pretty dramatic drop, and even you know early May, there were certainly people predicting doom, but I don't think anybody predicted record highs a few months later. That's pretty remarkable.
Mm-hmm.
Just like
Well,
wow.
two people did, Larry Williams and Glenn Glenn Neely of Elliott Wave, Neowave.
And from Elliott Wave, at least my approach to it, I was mentored by Bennett McDowell, kind of adopted his approach.
He lives just down by me.
Yeah, they're in Arizona now.
Oh, they are?
Um,
They left
so
California?
uh, this drop back in April actually went into a Fibonacci retracement zone, and so from a simple Elliott wave standpoint, we were looking the last year and a half at a wave three. This was a pretty clear four into the zone and a wave five, and so anybody else using a similar Elliott wave analysis, I'm not surprised once this trend, this correction, higher low, new high, you know, uh, a Fibonacci extension, and we'll just go ahead and I'll just show that since we're here. For a wave five would take you from here, you know, so the target zone of 61.8 to 100 Fibonacci extension, we're approaching that target zone for a wave five. So that's not surprising. Um, as Jim mentioned, right, the Magnificent Seven, two of the seven are reporting this week. And in my Substack newsletter, that's exactly what I published this last night. Hey, what's going on? I called it calm surface, high stakes. And here's the bear and the bull looking at that
Mm,
iceberg of earnings.
that's a good one.
And so, hey, and I'm so having so much fun playing with AI. It can generate that graphic for me in about 30
It's
seconds.
amazing what it can do.
It's incredible. And so notable earnings this week, tomorrow GM, and then Wednesday Tesla and Google, part of the seven. And then on Thursday, Intel used to be a bigger deal. It'll be interesting to see if, the new CEO, I think this will be his first earnings report or second at the most. So, how's the market like that? And then Southwest Airlines, which is now, I think they just given a date for no more open seating. So they are now just another lousy airline.
Yeah. But they've been doing good, price wise. So stock price, yeah.
Yeah. So those are some of the highlights, right? Economic reports, not really a big deal. Earnings season's off to a decent start in terms of ratios of, who's beaten earnings, who's beaten revenue, but the beats are a little below the 5-year average. And it's interesting, John Butters from FactSet, he's expecting the Magnificent Seven to come in with 14% growth, rest of the S&P 500 averaging 3.4. So the expectations are high. And so Wednesday with Google and Tesla, right? That may be direction setting, right? We
It
may,
should be interesting.
yeah, it's either going to add some fuel to the fire and accelerate this overall uptrend or not. Right. This has been a dramatic move, particularly from here, kind of call it the start of May, nearly a straight up move. There's been some periods of, very, very minor pullback, a little sideways-ish, but overall pretty orderly straight trend. And, I'm uh, I know we had another, a fellow trade educator on a few weeks ago when I was here, and he liked to get in at the 52 high, and that just makes my skin crawl. Because I don't like chasing trends, right? So I like getting in after the correction, and so I'm kind of loath to go long, on any chart like this. It's like, well, even if the uptrend will continue, there's typically some kind of, at least short-term pullback before it goes, and then so that's what I'm looking for, something like that. So I'm
You
not
want,
I'm not going long here. Just I just don't like joining into a very mature trend, especially one that's losing
You're
momentum.
waiting for
Steam.
confirmation.
Confirmation and typically, I hate the term buy the dip, but in an uptrend after there is a slight pullback, and then if it's confirmed that it's going to continue, then I'll be happy to join that trend. First I want, buy the dip. It's like, okay, a dip is good. Let's make sure it finds some support and proves that it's gonna, there's gonna be a continuation on there.
Yeah.
So, and earnings is certainly in focus with, the magnificent 2 of 7. But August 1st is coming, and the administration has said, hey, by the way, that's real. And so we'll see. That could be disruptive, or it could be the opposite of disruptive. What would that be? Calming?
Stimulative.
Stimulative, right?
So that's a real taco trade?
Mhm.
What's that?
That's a real taco trade, is it?
Yeah,
Trade
yeah.
all Trump always chickens out.
You want to throw up Tesla just to opine on it a little bit? Because I think it's pretty binary what it might be doing here. Above 335 is one, and then under 320 is another.
So here's Tesla. And what we see, obviously, earlier this year, right? There was all kinds of interesting developments with Tesla and Elon Musk and his role in the administration, and all the stuff around the backlash and
Yeah, that's a pretty
vandalizing,
solid pennant.
and so that seems to have settled a bit. And love him or hate him, I don't think it's a good strategy to second guess or bet against Elon Musk in the long term, right? He's done the
Right.
impossible about 5 times. So what I just drew here was a bit of a wedge, as these swings are getting tighter and tighter. And so I think in that context, with earnings coming up, a break from this, Tesla makes money on a lot more than just cars. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll see. A break either way could be a very clear
Telling.
sign of, at least, a few weeks to a month or so of direction. So that's worth watching very, very closely. Yeah.
Yeah, this what do you think of this robo taxi? He's got just about a handful of these things out on the road, and that Waymo has got like a pretty big head start on him.
I think it's a super cool thing that I won't ride in.
Yeah, I've seen him. I was in San Francisco. I saw him.
That's cool.
Yeah, it would, it's a cool idea. Um, now they got what, pilotless drone taxis too, right? You ready to jump
Mm,
in one of those?
not really.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Well, what do you,
Yeah,
what,
so
I
it's
mean, do you have any feelings on like, I mean, do you think the earnings will be, shall we say, poor, but he'll give you great guidance, or do you think the earnings might be okay? If you were a guessing man, you think it'll break out above the 340 area and get on a run?
um I'm not gonna guess. I really
Like
am.
that pennant, does it generally go out the top because it came into the bottom, or
Pennants typically resolve in the direction of the flagpole.
And this one's
So
almost, I drew it quickly and kind of sloppily, right?
yeah,
So if
you
we
did a good
adjust
job.
this, right, like that, um, it's almost perfectly sideways. I don't see a predictive thing here.
I got you.
So um, we'll see, right?
Is that your 50 or 200 day, the thicker white line? Because it seems like it's kind of rising, huh?
This one is the 200, the heavier
Yeah.
one, and kind of right in the middle, isn't it? But it is
Where's that come in right now? The 200. Can you,
318.18.
wouldn't be a bad line in the sand to defend, I guess, huh?
Yeah. So um, are we at the point where we show something else? I know we're looking at.
The other one, you might as well show Google because these are the two main players this week. I mean, there's other guys out there, but these guys are a big part of the
OE,
indexes.
there you go.
Yeah. So here's Alphabet. Let me do a quick zoom out, a couple year look.
Dean, is this trading view?
This is Thinkorswim.
Thinkorswim, yeah.
Thinkorswim. All right, thank you.
Yeah. Um, so, just real quickly, uh, do we even have drawing tools here? I think we do. Um, oh, annotate. So, just a quick, this is a Elliott wave 3, this is a 4, this is a 5. And now we got something new going on, right? And so this is a big question mark, just from
Hmm.
a long-term um, chart analysis standpoint. So a little
Why would
tough.
that not be an ABC? A, B, and then a C coming on down.
It certainly could, now that you point that out, right? So thank you,
Yeah.
Sonny. I think you're actually right now that I missed it. Um, let me, how do I erase all this mess? Um,
Erase, erase. But just to make it for the novice people, the what you're saying is it had the rally. The drop down is an A. The B would take you up, but not take out that high, and then the
so
C would
the
be
so the ABC
yeah,
this is a
five way.
one,
Yeah.
or
Hmm.
no, this is a three, right? 4, 5, and Sonny is correct. There's quite often an A, B, and C like this. A
Right,
C would go
right.
lower, right? So
Right.
that's interesting. Yeah.
Well, you'd want to be pretty darn careful up here then, because it's within shouting distance of its high.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. And had some real strength today.
Hmm.
And we'll see, I certainly wouldn't do anything until earnings on Wednesday. And unless you have an earnings play, right? Earnings, an earning trade is its own thing, right? And you think you have some kind of edge on a direction, maybe, or some balanced strategy. You should talk to the option professor about, straddles or whatever for earnings. But afterwards, particularly if there's some weakness, there may be a C leg to trade to the downside there.
The thing
Maybe.
that seduced me, and I've been bullish on the thing, is because I thought it might go up and fill that gap between like 195, 205 or whatever, which is not easy to see on this particular chart, but there is a gap up there.
So maybe if we zoom in, you're saying?
Yeah, I'm wondering if you can see it on the charts that I use. It's pretty
So
Pretty clear. Yeah,
where's
there
the
it is.
gap
There it is. On the left-hand side there between 195 and 205 or something, that kind of a gap.
for? I blew it here.
Yeah, in February timeframe, when it gapped down in February.
Oh, February.
Up,
Here.
up at the
Yeah, yeah,
top.
yeah. And that must have been on earnings. Looks like it was, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
these little icons in Thinkorswim are the earnings, so it's kind of helpful. Yeah, so there is quite a gap. And as you point that out, one of the tools I like, yeah. So gaps, and here's the one Jim's talking about, can be resistance, right? So as we approach that, that's worth watching.
Hmm.
So yeah,
There was
there's
a there
that.
was a stat that I heard pretty interesting because everyone is very concerned that the chat GBT is going to take their search business away. But the guy on Bloomberg was saying that recent numbers, 14 billion searches a day, I think it was, are on Google and only 1 billion on chat GBT. So Google still has the lion's share of search. And if they do, their numbers could very much surprise people on the upside, which could end up filling that gap, and that might be the end of the story.
Yeah, it's super interesting, and
It's getting pretty close.
we'll have to see. Google doesn't just make money on search, right? They
Hmm.
they make money in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And they have their own AI as well. But I have to say, like I was joking, I used ChatGPT to make that image for the
Hmm.
newsletter, right? And I've found myself over the last several months, rather than go to Google to do some kind of internet search, I will go to ChatGPT. It
I
just
do
seems
the
like
same thing.
it's like a way more because otherwise, you get these websites and you have to filter through and go all these different places where ChatGPT will just kind of summarize it for you. Well,
Mhm.
here's
Yeah, I think Google's anti-monopoly suit's over because they're not winning anymore with OpenAI on the forefront.
yeah, yeah. But, Google is certainly um profiting from the shift from legacy media to long form podcast and all that kind of stuff, right?
Hmm.
Like it or not, Joe Rogan is the most influential journalist on the planet at the moment, right? And
And everybody says I Googled that. They don't say I OpenAI'd that.
yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah,
But we still say, hey, go Xerox that paper, right? But you're not
that's
using,
right. And Kleenex.
How's it going, D?
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, But anyway, that shift, eyeballs from legacy media to emerging formats, YouTube and other Google platforms are a huge part of that, right? And so that's a big deal. That's something there, right?
Well, Sonny,
Um,
do you want to throw your charts up real quick and give us the Sonny Ban view of what some of these stocks look like on Tesla and Google? And also, the gold had a big day today, so we might as well take a look at it.
Before I
Oh,
surrender
yeah.
the
Do you have
screen,
something? Sure, sure.
um,
Yeah, you said you had a stock or something you were looking at, right?
yeah, and now
Uh,
why isn't it?
Sorry, I hit it too fast. So
He's got a
let
quick
me share.
trigger finger over there.
Yeah, yeah.
You took it away?
No, no, I think you can go back on, right, David?
Yeah, you should be able
Yeah.
to share again.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry about
I
that, Dean. I forgot that you had a stock thing.
So this is people have been kind of bad mouthing it as a meme stock, AEVA. Um, and but there's a story behind it. They actually have, this is not GameStop, right? They make primarily LiDAR for autonomous driving, right? Which is obviously an expanding new sector, right? And that explosive move and then that correction, they had a big down day today, so I wouldn't, go in here. But again, this could be even a wave four can have an ABC formation, ABC, and then if it finds support and heads up, right, a wave three extension on this could look something like,
It
depending
looks
on
like it
where.
could go to the bottom of the cloud.
What's that?
It looks like it could go to the bottom of the cloud.
And that's also incident with the 50-day moving average that,
Hmm.
two indicators
Hmm.
showing a potential support area. So if it goes to there and then supports and heads up, right, that next move. could be pretty good, right? I love the liquidity of it and just the attention on it. So that's a fun one. And then I'll show
And
one
what do
more
they
that
do?
huh?
What do they do?
They make autonomous driving components and it's a different
Software or
approach.
hardware?
Hardware, probably software too, but they use what's called LiDAR.
Mm-hmm.
So Tesla relies primarily on cameras. And so LiDAR is like radar, but it uses light waves. And so it is being positioned as maybe the next generation of, sensors for autonomous stuff. So
Cool.
that's a big deal. I also like Kraft Heinz, and I like it both. So if you look, it's crashed, um, but it's not going anywhere, right? It's had a tremendous downtrend. I like these. I call them bottom feeders, where it's hit a pretty good bottom and then is showing some evidence of finding support and a little high, higher, low, new high trend change. Cloud's about to turn. The oscillator has turned. It's supporting on the 50. And this is one, you can kind of take a longer term thing because it pays a 6% dividend, right? And this is the kind of deal, everybody kind of has to allocate their portfolio the way they want. I allocate some into dividends that have this kind of pattern where it's like, hey, this thing could move 10-20% in a year, and I'm going to collect the dividends. That's a pretty good deal. So
Hmm.
I like this one in that particular category. So there we are.
Good
Um,
stuff.
yeah. All right. Now I will yield the,
Yield the
Yield the
gavel.
floor.
Yield the gavel.
yeah.
That's funny.
All right. Well, Sunny Ed, you want to put up the Sunny bands on the two big ones for this week, or if you have anything else you'd like to show?
What about that?
What do you got?
You see
Gold.
it?
Yeah.
That's gold. Yeah.
Yeah.
So gold finally came out of its sideways move today with a
Hmm.
little move up. I'm still waiting for gold to drop near the 3,200 level before I buy some more. It may not do it. It may just keep right on going up. And if so, then I'll be a buyer in that case too.
You know what I thought might have happened today is the 10-year note lost 7 points of yield. And
Oh,
maybe people are starting to think that cuts might be coming in July. And if that were to occur, obviously that might really send people into the gold because cheap money during this kind of an environment would probably not hurt gold, huh?
yeah. Well, we shall see.
Yeah.
You know, gold is a flight to safety usually.
Hmm.
And the market was, what was the market today? Down 19 points.
Hmm.
And the gold went up. So that makes sense. But I do think it's going to go up to 3,500 still. I'm standing by that prediction.
Yeah. Well, that's the way it's going. Today definitely had a big crowd, and silver was up quite a bit as well. SIU.
What do you think of those prior highs? There's like two that are almost identical on gold.
On gold,
Yeah, so I look at them, I look at those prior highs as
well, we've got two highs here, two highs
yeah,
here, high
those
here. So one,
both of
two,
those
three,
are
all I call these things attractors. It's a line that price tends to be attracted to. So that's three hits on that attractor.
yeah,
So it needs to go up and take it out.
right. But I look at those as a potential reversal spot as well.
Mm-hmm.
You got a divergence up there, Dean?
Um, so
Your momentum?
momentum was dropping after the big drop back in April, and then it spiked back up late June, early July. Just like Sunny's. If you see on Sunny's, right, it's spiking up with those last few histogram bars.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's going to go up a little more and then down a little more. I think it's still volatile.
And it's funny, the rise in gold when the market dropped seems more muted than in historical market drops.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like notable. How's that? I don't know if it was good or bad. It was notable that some people were calling crypto your safe haven.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that, right?
Sonny,
Let's look at crypto a second.
on this Ethereum, there's a lot of talk because of Tom Lee going into this company called BMNR, Bobby, Mary, Nancy, Robert. And that company also attracted a 9% ownership from Peter Thiel. Now, it went from $2 to 160,
Oh
but
my God.
it's right now, and it could be an area of stabilization down here. Wouldn't you think, possibly? Or what do you think?
That's quite possible. A
And according
move
to
of
the
that
stable
kind, though,
coin,
scares me.
the stable coin thing is supposed to be very positive for Ethereum because of their compliance and their layer one blockchain, I guess, is very trusted and all that.
Hmm. Yeah, I
But
trade Ethereum. I don't trade Bitcoin.
yeah, because well, I think that's the next horse in town. Is that what you think too?
Yes.
Yeah, and
Let's
it's
see.
got
BTC USD. Let's see what. Oops, I didn't get it. BTC USD. So Bitcoin's taking a little bit of a breather.
mm-hmm,
And it was up to 122.4 something. And now it's coming back a little bit. But I think is going to continue on up.
mm-hmm.
Donald Trump has his own stable coin.
Yeah, they definitely have gotten the adoption rate going crazy, and the stable coins is starting to make everything look like it's definitely going mainstream, and that's pretty amazing.
I had a client today ask me if she could pay in Bitcoin. That's the first time I've had that happen.
You got to call Coinbase up and ask him how to get that done. Yeah.
Yeah, good idea.
Dean, are you doing anything with this stuff at all? I mean, do you find any interest in the crypto, or not too much? Or
I've stood on the sideline and watched, but I have not. We've traded the ETF, right? Grayscale, but
yeah,
not any action. I've never bought or sold any crypto ever.
yeah.
Yeah, I have crypto. I do trade it, but I trade Ethereum and it's doing really well. We've got a gap up here 2 days ago. So it's doing really well. I've
Now,
doubled my holdings.
now, so one customer said that some guy got into his wallet and then he lost his coins, and that was it.
Oh my.
Can that happen? I guess, or
I don't know.
yeah, I don't. I'm not an expert at that area at all.
I don't even know what a wallet is yet.
Yeah,
I mean, I know
but
the theory of it, but I don't know how to use it.
I guess he could say he got his wallet picked. Yeah. What else is on your mind as far as stocks are concerned, Sonny? Do you have anything else up there? Like,
Well, I bought
and
some new ones here recently. Google, which we just looked at.
yeah, but we didn't look at them with
Palantir.
Sunny Bands. Now we look at them with Sunny Bands, and Sunny Bands
We're
is looking
looking
like
at
a
the Sunny
breakout.
Bands. That's right.
Yeah,
Palantir. See, it's well, a Sunny Band cell signal is a red bar above the upper outer band and a red bar within the upper outer band. So that's we've got a cell signal right there on the Sunny Bands.
the valuation's 119 times sales. When we had the .com era, the highest it ever got was like 40 to 1 price to sales. So the valuation of Palantir is just in another orbit.
Yeah.
And they do
And
have
then
good
there's
contracts,
Tesla,
but it's,
which is one of my favorites.
uh-huh. Yeah.
Tesla's going nowhere fast. It's just going sideways. So I view Tesla as a tradable, not as an investable. So I trade it from up to down over and over again. And then what's the other one I trade? Oh, Nvidia.
Oh, yeah.
And that's looking good, but it's got two red bars, so we've got a sell signal.
How about the SMH? Basically, a basket of all the semiconductors. Is there a couple cell signals on that too, or
It's getting close. It doesn't quite have it. It's got
yeah?
one red bar, but not the second one really. Second one's Well, I guess that's red, but it really doesn't close below the body of the prior candle, so it's not quite a sell signal yet.
Well, if you were looking for a dip, that would be the first signal is getting some of these stocks that you just mentioned with the two red bars.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly, if they give it up, we'll get the correction that people who want a dip will get.
Yeah.
You know. How about a Chevron CVX? It seems there's a big gap up at around
CVS,
165.
that doesn't seem right.
CVX,
Oh,
Charlie Victor
CVX.
X-ray, Charlie Victor X-ray. Yeah, it's kind
Oh,
of
this was coming down to the flat DMA. You see how the gold and purple lines are just flat right through here?
yeah,
I
support
call
though,
that
right?
danger, danger. That
Uh,
means congestion.
okay,
So we've got congestion going on in Chevron. It could go below that or above that, either one. It could bounce or it could tank.
I got you. Either way.
Hmm.
Well, oil's at around 66, 65, or 67, and that's the neighborhood that better hold, or else we could go back into the soup.
Yeah, and we've got that sideways too, but it's below the DMA. So I'm guessing on this one it's going to go down to the lower inner band.
Now, Dean, do you ever look at like a sector like pharma and say to yourself, those pharma stocks really got murdered because Trump was going to give those guys all these tariffs? But then I read that he's giving them 18 months to comply. So since he's kind of moderated his stance a little bit, do you look at the Mercks and the Bristol Myers of the world and the Amgens or whatever, and do you see any kind of an opportunity there?
I haven't looked there lately. So I don't know. Um, yeah,
It
and
looks
that
like it's going to go on down.
in the I have a handful of
Is that is
kind of
that MRK would be Merck, not MERC?
Oh, okay. MRK, Mark.
I have a
MRK.
handful
It too looks
of
like it's going to go on down.
scanning
Yeah.
strategies,
Uh-huh.
and headlines is like my least favorite.
Yeah.
Speaking of headlines, what was it that took the market straight up and straight back down this morning? What news was that? What did Trump say?
Probably had something to do with tariffs, 30 to 50% on Europe and Brazil and Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, if they are adjusted, I mean, that's really how we had what happened. He went with this 150% on the lawn. The market
Mm-hmm.
absolutely collapsed. Big money got out, institutions got out. And then after they got out, he went and the guy trots out in Geneva and he says China's going to get 10%. Well,
Oh my
obviously,
gosh.
that was a big shock. So all those people who got out, they've had to come back in. And
Yeah.
if the guys who do the selling know you're coming back in with all that money that you took out, they're going to raise the offer. And
Yeah.
I think that's essentially what happened in a nutshell. Is they got the institutions to panic. They got the because if they ever were 140, the earnings were going to collapse, and if earnings collapse, so does the stock. So then they
Right.
had to just come right back in May, June, and July, and they're still probably coming in. The stragglers are coming in right now, but I think most of the people that got nailed and got taken out, because I have some high net worth people that I know, and their advisors have been banging on them for a while to get back and increase their asset allocation.
Really?
Yeah, so yeah, they're definitely well. Again, they have to go to what the world is now. In
Right.
April, the world was earnings were going to collapse. Now earnings are like Dean was showing, 14% and 3%. They're actually growing. So but that's a lot of money to come all out and all back in.
It
That's why
is.
these banks made a ton of money in trading. But I wonder if they're going to make that much money in Q3 here, because I don't think the volume is going to be or the activity is going to be nearly as much as it was in Q2. I don't think it could be.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see on that.
That makes
But
sense.
yeah. Dean, anything else you've got on your mind as far as sectors or something like that?
Lately I've been, I just run some screens. I have a variety of screens. I see, Sunny sharing TradeStation. I used to use TradeStation, and I actually liked its radar screen a lot.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
but I've adapted to Thinkorswim, and I use I'm actually using some AI screening. So I'll do basically indicator-based screens to look for candidates and get one off rather than a sector or a news um, focus. And that's where you get some that just pop out, kind of on their own merit. And like, it's too late now.
Hmm.
Um, but using that technique, we found SoFi,
Oh yeah,
SOFI.
yeah.
Um, and the screening showed, hey, here comes a wave five, right? And we caught it, and we're like at 30%. We're about ready to close this thing. So phenomenal. And
Yeah.
It's
and
got the two red
I
bars there.
personally like these lower priced, but lower price, mid cap, good liquidity. SoFi is a perfect one for me.
Yeah.
Because you can, we're sending signals to our clients and followers, and people with different net worth can still participate and have multiple lots of options, right? Where if you're, you know, if you're
Do you trade
trading,
options?
what's that?
Do you largely trade options?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. The
I mean,
only thing I've found out how to do is lose money with options. I could call the direction perfectly and then lose money with options.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Well, you
how
got,
much how much you pay for the option is obviously an important thing.
Yeah.
yeah, it
It's just
is.
not something I really understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was the expert.
I like options. Like I mentioned before, Kraft Heinz is a dividend, right? You got to own the stock to get the dividend. Um,
Yeah.
but in terms of swing trading, I only use options.
Hmm.
But I've studied it, I've tested it, and I've got a couple good option strategies that I lean on for it.
That's
And
Yeah.
cool.
That
good,
XYZ, could you look at that real quick? Because that had a pretty good day. I was fortunate enough to check out the calls in the last couple of weeks. XYZ, it's
that's square, isn't it?
yeah, Jack Dorsey's company, and that's when options are cool is when you buy them against the green, excuse me, the gold and the purple, and then you get a pop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got a pop today for
Yeah.
sure.
And then, but now if you get in, you're going to pay high premium. And then, that's when the problems come in if you do the options after the fact. You know what
Hmm.
And that's, I use options just as a leverage proxy for the shares, right? And so I typically reduce my exposure to IV by going in the money on a directional play, right?
I mean? Hmm.
So, if it's if was going to trade this long, right? Back when that thing was starting to pop, what I'm trying to see, it's in yellow, right? But
Think about it.
say 73 or 4 as it was starting to pop, right? I would have been with a 70, 71 call option,
Yeah.
30, 45 days out. I'm
Yeah.
not paying for the IV. I'm not paying that much for time. I'm paying for the intrinsic value, but I get the leverage if it goes. So
And SoFi is a good example of you could have bought very much in the money options with no time premium to speak of, and really had a excellent substitute for stock purchase.
that's right. And, the options are, on this 30% move on the stock, right? The options are 400%. So it's like, that's
Oh
a
yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the whole idea. Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah. So anyway, we've got a lot of stuff to look forward to with the earnings. It all closes up with Nvidia on the 27th. But you know what? I'd be very interested to see what's a Berkshire Hathaway stock doing. BRK.B is it or something?
Yeah.
Because on August 1st, I think they're coming out. And boy, would I like to read or listen to that letter that Buffett comes out with if he still does it.
He still does it.
Yeah, because I'd love to hear his rationale on what's going on.
Hmm. Yeah, he's the master, isn't he?
Well, I mean, he doesn't catch it all, but I mean, his philosophy is pretty sound, and it's sometimes nice to hear his view on how the whole thing is priced out and that kind of a thing. But
I would
yeah,
agree.
that'll be something else. Um, are you guys looking at anything like the interest rate picture? Because just like gold was on a ledge at 33.50 and totally decided to get out of there today, Can you put the 10-year note? It's I always it's $ TNX where I'm working. I don't know what you guys. How do you get the 10-year note
No,
yield?
that's not the symbol on trade station.
Yeah. Do you know what the yield the symbol is, Dean, on the 10-year? Or can you put the 10-year note yield up there?
I don't track it, Jim. I don't get into it at all, so I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, because like I say, it's been in a very, very tight window, and it seems like it's a 420 yield is a real support zone. And if we broke under 420, it really might be giving the signal that the interest rates will be eased and relatively soon, maybe in the July meeting. And that
I
would
don't
have
know about that. That's
well,
kind of iffy with
oh,
inflation at 4%,
yeah.
This
interest
is what
rates at 2%.
you want, right?
It doesn't make sense to me to ease again.
No, I don't think so either. But I don't have a guy, threatening to sue me because I did a remodel improperly at the Fed. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but anyway, yeah, this is what I was kind of thinking about here is that you've got two of the moving averages stuck right in there, and a break under that point of 420 would make the yield really start dropping, and it would take the relative strength well under 50, and that might be and the gold taking off $50 today. These might be little tips that the interest rate may be cut for before they think it, before because they got at least three governors on the TV constantly talking about that we should cut.
Right,
You
right.
know, you know, I
You have to wait.
I was pretty critical of Powell because I thought he was late to the game when inflation took off, and he was. True. Fact. But I think he's actually done a reasonable job, and and if anybody can with tune out external pressure, he seems to be that guy.
Yeah.
Because yeah, inflation still isn't where we want it, and the economy's doing pretty well, and the market's doing pretty well. It's like, tell me again why we need stimulus. It doesn't really make sense. So
Mm-hmm.
Well, he likes to use the word, we're going to send this thing up like a rocket. So I think in the administration's view, if we could drop the interest rate down, we could get to 7,000 on the S&P very shortly. And then everyone who owns stock will be very happy.
yeah,
And I
like I
think,
said, I think if anybody can tune it out, it's Powell, right? So
That's right.
yeah.
He's pretty calm kind of guy.
yeah.
But Dean, looking for a reversion to the mean, and we all know a reversion to the mean always does occur. That blue line and gold line seem to be screaming. And
And if you look at if on that note, I think it's David sharing
yeah,
on TradingView.
yeah,
Yep.
Look how the S&P oscillated around the 50, that blue line, for a long time before April, right?
Mm-hmm.
hmm
So a reversion back to the 50 wouldn't be unheard of here, right?
no, it's just, and it might happen, like you were saying, August 1st is coming, and this might be a time where he, wants to defend the taco nickname. And with unemployment so low, the stock market so high, if you're going to play tough guy, this might be the place to do it. And then, of course, that could give you the reversion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So,
it's
it
funny.
could.
The comment from Lutnick was, "Hey, August 1st is real, right?
yeah, yeah,
And it's a hard line." And then he goes, "But nothing will stop anybody from talking to us after August 1st. But it could
yeah.
be a shock, right?" So
Mm.
And also the RSI, I mean, your RSI looks like it could be diverging a little bit on the new high. So, yeah, there's definitely some reason to keep the periscope up in the next couple of weeks to see if, in fact, there's cracks in the armor.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. Well, Sonny, I'd like you to, if you could, go into a little bit about how you're helping people over there and some of the details on your trading room you've got and all that kind of stuff so people could take advantage of what you can help for them with.
I have a little section called Quips on my website, which is what people email me. And I got one today that said, watching you trade is cool as hell. Because he was watching me trade in my live trading room, and I stay calm and I just do my thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I have a live trading room every day. I have a Substack that I post, where's the Dow going from here every day. And of course, I sell my Sunny Bands. If you're interested in that, you can get a free trial. 7-day free trial. And with that comes 2 Zoom calls where I instruct you how to use it. I've got a lot of free stuff. MoneyMentor.com.
And this trading you're doing in the room, what are you doing? Stock trading, option trading, or
No,
not
I'm
option
doing
trading?
the E-mini. I
Oh, so you're
trade
doing
the
the
E-mini
futures.
on a 5-minute chart every day.
Okay. So people out there who are doing the E-mini, obviously they could benefit from that. That's for sure. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what about the guys who are trying to do this prop trading where, you kind of get a track record, then somebody funds you? Do you get a bit of that crowd in there? Because I know
I
there's some,
do. I get
yeah.
quite a lot of the prop trading funds.
Hmm.
They come in and look at the signals and do their trades, and
Hmm.
they do pretty well from what I hear.
Yeah. Because that's an interesting concept if you can get and I think a lot of that prop trading is centered right on what you're talking about, which is the short-term trading on the S&P, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Definitely.
if people are interested in prop trading or trying to find out how they could get to performance, maybe looking at your stuff would be pretty much a good step in that direction.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. All right.
Oh,
Well, Dean, yep.
you want to talk for a second too about what you're going to talk about in the
Right.
syndicator's presentation?
Right. Yeah. And when are you going to be on? Do you know
And
exactly? Yeah.
uh,
Sunny.
Sonny, you're
Oh,
set
Sonny,
for
I'm on, what
Thursday
am I
at
on Thursday?
2 p.m. Eastern.
Okay. And what are you going to talk about?
I'm going to talk about my favorite indicators, Sunny bands.
All right.
And some of the things you can do in the trading room too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Dean,
Yeah.
when are you going to be talking this week?
Dean is set
So
for
David's showing
Wednesday
my
at
basic my website, my
Yeah.
homepage there, followmetrades.com. We offer I'm focused on swing trading stocks, and then we use options, for the actual trade. So we have a live trading room and signals where we call out trade ideas, and then I also offer education, and it's all listed there. And a great way to, if people want to kind of, come check it out a little more is to go to the Substack, which, do a, weekly, sometimes bi-weekly newsletter. The picks for the subscribers are there. So there's a premium thing. That's how we do the membership is through Substack. Right. And then for the education thing later this week, I'm actually going to talk about since it's 29 other people talking about indicators, I'm going to do a segment on what can you do on a chart without any indicators, right? How can
Oh,
you
that's interesting.
price look at price action and what can it tell you without a single indicator? Because that's where it starts, right? All indicators are built off price action. So
Mm-hmm.
and just watching both of you, right? You're taking a bunch of cues right off of price action and then looking to indicators. So yeah, I'm going to focus on that.
Hmm.
That's a
Sounds good.
different twist to it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I tried to tell people is to hopefully we get some things that are not just traditional indicators, but some more, you know,
Yeah.
other ways of looking at things. So yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah. And then as a bonus, I know we're wrapping. Can I share real quick?
Sure.
Sure.
Sure. We got a few minutes.
Okay. So anybody that's interested in the newsletter and the Substack. So here's yesterday's newsletter. We go through, talk about, hey, what happened last week? What are the things to look for this week? How to trade it? What to be aware of and all that. And then at the end, is always a short, fun video with the McGold cousins. So,
That's cute.
it's Lucky the Leprechaun and Holden the Dwarf. Yeah. So, um, yeah. So.
It's a dry subject matter. You can liven it up. It's got to be better, right?
Yeah, so you definitely want to check out Lucky and Holden, right?
Yeah.
That's um, good stuff. And so here, just watch real quick. Hopefully we get there. Lucky's taking a trade. Holden's buying and holding. And then in just a second here, he's going to go long, and then you're going to see his monitors melt down. So that's um, always fun, right? dreaming of his Lambo.
Uh,
And that's going to be Holden. You know, do you want fries with that, right? Uh-oh. Didn't work out. Anyway, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Uh, the whole point there is I really want to learn more about AI and how to use it, and
yeah,
mm,
yeah. And
that's
you'll
fun.
discuss that at your talk this week too, right?
No, not at all.
Yeah, don't hold out, Dean. Don't hold out. All
If
right,
there's time,
guys.
if there's time,
If
right?
there's
So,
time. All right, guys. Thanks a lot for being here. As far as Option Professor is concerned, we do have a webinar free of charge tomorrow. All you need to do is send me an email to optionprofessor@gmail.com, and I can send the link over to you. You guys, always good to talk to you. Let's see how this week unfolds. We got the Mag 7 ahead of us, so it's going to be exciting. So we'll talk soon. I'll send it back over to David.
All right. Yeah. Thanks. Great discussion again. So just again, a quick reminder. The big event starts tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern time, and that will go Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. You can simply come to TimingResearch.com to access the room while we're live. There'll be a yellow bar at the top. There'll be links here in the main part of the site. Also, if you can't attend live, the archives will be posted on TimingResearch.com as well as soon as I can get them processed, as with today's show. So, um, yeah, also, if you search for Timing Research on YouTube, Substack, or your favorite podcast app, you can get the recordings that way as well. So, just want to thank my guests again for today. Dean Jenkins of FollowMeTrades.com, Sonny Harris of MoneyMentor.com, and the Option Professor of OptionProfessor.com. Thanks, everyone.
all
Thank
right,
you,
thank you.
David. Thank you,
Thanks,
Jim.
David. You bet, Sonny. See you then, Dean.
Yep.